Hey guys, it's Tracy and welcome to my channel. I am going to be sublimating the designs that you see on the screen to some no-show silky socks. Now, I went to Creative Fabrica because I was looking for mommy sentiments and I found this one here. So what I did when I retyped the text over here, I didn't include the word is and I replaced the word safety with sake. And then over on the left, I just came up with that myself, which the total graphic reads, warning, when these are on my feet, it's mommy's alone time for everyone's sake. And then over to the left of the screen, I just documented the fonts that I use because I've been trying to do that lately. And then some projects I have even more information. I have like cut settings, what printer settings I used, especially if I'm working with darker colors. And so that's what I've been trying to use that draw note for over there, just in case I forget to make a copy of my design or the text before I start working with it. Because in the case of the word warning and mommies, I had to use the draw tool to create an oval circle so that I could arch the word warnings and mommy. Yeah, because it's different than the Cricut. I think the Cricut is a little easier for you to arch a word. But over here in Silhouette Studio, that's what I had to do. And when you do that, you have to once you get the word to your liking, you have to make compound path. And once you do that, you lose the name of the font and you lose the ability to edit the font or the text. So that's another reason why I wanted to write it down too. Like I said, just in case I forgot to make a copy of the original. So when I'm going to print this out, and when I come back, I'll be at my heat press and I'm going to be testing a 9x12 heat press that I picked up on Facebook Marketplace over the weekend. Okay, so it is time to prep the paper and press the socks. So I printed out the design here and I'm using, honestly speaking, tacky paper. And I just had a little smaller piece. And this design was big enough to put on that. So that's what I did. Now I'm just going to cut it down. And then what I want to do too is cut all around the edges. But let me just fold this in half just to get the center. And then before I trim the top and the left side, the right side, and before I trim the top and the left side of this, I want to fold it in half to get the center of that design. Hopefully that gives me, I think that is in the center. Yeah. And then I want to go ahead and trim that off. And you always want to trim off your edges, especially if they're going to be touching the substrate that you're subbing to, because there could be ink that got picked up when it was running through the printer that you don't see until it's pressed. Now, because the paper was longer and I cut it here, I don't have to do that end. But if it wasn't, then again, you want to trim all the way around the edges of your design, just so that you're not picking up any ink, or just so that you can avoid possibly getting ink on your substrate. Just trimming off a little bit. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Darn it. I forgot to fold this in half, but that's okay. I'm going to see if I can hold it up to the light and find the center that way. And I want to find the center of the design so when I put it on the sock, it is the center as much as I can get it. Hopefully it'll be perfect, but if not, close to perfect. So here are my Silky Socks No Show socks. And what I used to do was take a lint roller and roll them, but I don't like doing that because it tends to pull up the fiber some, and it looks kind of fuzzy to me. So I just have this brush here that I use for my rhinestones, and it looks to be clean. So, and I'm just brushing it across there, so hopefully it'll get any lint off. And I'm just going to be subbing the front. And because of what it says, I want to have the design read so that the person walking up will be able to read it. Typically, I put the design the other way so that I or the recipient wearing it could read it. But, so what I'm going to do here is just turn this towards me. Let me see, where are we? And I'm going to put it down here, about right there. And I'm just eyeballing the center. And I am going to get some tape and just tape it down so it doesn't move. Again, I'm just eyeballing it. As far as trying to determine the center, I'm eyeballing it. All right. So now, I'm going to do this one as 2. And let me see, how far did I come down? It looks about to be 1 inch. So I want to come down from this about 1 inch too. And again, I'm eyeballing it for the center. Oh guys, I just realized I didn't have my heat press on. So let me turn my heat press on. So I'm going to be pressing at 365 for 35. Now I'm going to try 40 seconds since this is a new press. So I am going to be, a new press to me, I'm going to be pressing at 365 for 40 seconds. But let me get this heated up and I'll be back. Hey, I thought I would jump back on just in case somebody was interested or needed to know how this heat press works. So it has a button here on the side, this red button, that's the power button. And then you hit the OK button and you go into P1 mode. That's where you adjust the temperature. So I'm going to adjust this to 365. Then if you hit the OK button again, your P2, you're in the time mode. I'm going to change that to 40 seconds. And then hit OK again. And then the button, I think over here is where it'll turn red once it reaches the temperature. I don't think it beeps when it reaches the temperature. And then what you can do, I've already done it, but you want to put your socks in there without the sublimation paper on it to adjust the pressure. And your pressure knob is up at the top here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, the pressure knob is right up at the top here. All right, guys, so I am going to let this heat up and then I will be back. Okay, guys, so the press is heated up. And now I'm going to put a piece of butcher paper there. And just laying that down here. And with this paper, it doesn't bleed through, so I don't need to cover it. So swing this back around. Make sure it's lined, the top is lined up with that bottom pleat. And then press it down. Then with this press, you have to hit enter for the timer to start. And I'm hoping I gave it enough pressure. If not, then I do have more socks and I can redo it. And I'm thinking it should be fine. Then the next thing that I want to try is a full bleed, and that means that I want to make sure there is design covering the whole sock in a different color. So I want to try to change the color of the sock from white to a different color just to see how it would do pressure wise, to see if it would give even color all over the sock. And that's the thing too, it makes a loud beep. Alright, so let me move that. Stop it. Alright. So let's see, guys, let me bring it down a little more. Turn that press off. And let me see. Oh, that looks good. Yeah, that was enough time. Actually, looks really good. And again, I'm not even like using the tape because that, to me, too pulls at the sock and it makes it look fuzzy. And you can kind of see that tape mark. But here, and then let me, in here, hopefully you can see that. So that's that. It came out really nice. Guys, I'm not sure if you can see this. Let me see if I can show you on one. Because that paper, when I was pressing it, because the paper stopped about here and it stopped down there, you can see press marks. You can see the edges of the paper. What I'm going to do is put this back under the press like this, and I'm going to put a paper that's larger than that paper. I'm just going to use the paper that was on the bottom, put it on top of it, turn up the pressure a little bit, and what that will do is remove those press marks, especially if I got enough pressure. And I'm not even doing kind of a countdown or anything. Let's see if I had enough pressure. And it did remove it. I don't know how if you'll be able to see it, but that did remove it. And I got that tip from Shakia. Guys, so I just wanted to show you how to get rid of those press marks, and that will also work on your t-shirts, but you just have to make sure that the paper that you're pressing on your t-shirt is not touching the t-shirt, is larger than your t-shirt. Bump up the pressure and then press it for a few seconds, anywhere, I don't know, you saw how short it was with this, but you can press it anywhere from 10 to 15 seconds and it should remove those press marks. Alright guys, so that is it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment and I'll get back to you. Otherwise, thanks a lot for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing. Bye.